Hi, it's Ryan Frost again here at Harrison Brook. Today I'm going to be talking about QROPS, the impact of Brexit, and if we should be using a QROPS in the first place. In the past, expats have been advised, and often when they're searching for pension advice, they'll be recommended to use a QROPS if they live and work outside the UK. In the past, there was additional benefits over and above using a UK pension, such as a SIPP, by using a QROPS, but more and more those benefits have really gone away now, and really the benefits in terms of drawdown and so on are the same in a UK pension compared with a QROPS as well. This has meant the benefits of using a QROPS have really been lessened. The key benefit, and where we would use a QROPS here at Harrison Brook, would be if someone has their lifetime allowance concern, where their transfer value or accumulated pensions are valued just over or near £1 million. That way, if you did transfer it into a QROPS, there's no lifetime allowance cap. That means whatever you transfer into a QROPS can grow above that without the additional taxation being applied when you enter drawdown. Other than that, benefits of a QROPS are quite minimal, really. You can actually achieve most of the things that are stated in a QROPS with inside a UK pension, such as an international SIPP. And also at a drastic less cost. QROPS are much more expensive than using a UK pension. QROPS are typically 3 or 4 times more expensive than a UK pension, or certainly than an international SIPP. As I touched on in my previous video just then, there are benefits, certainly if you've got a larger pension, in terms of mitigating like your lifetime allowance concerns. Other than that, we wouldn't really recommend using a QROPS here at Harrison Brook. The added benefit post-Brexit is you might want to particularly get your pension outside of the UK, but under the dual tax saving agreements, which the UK has over 60 with varying different countries, it's unlikely that those agreements won't continue to be in place, including with other EU member states. So our argument would be, and my argument would be, that you would be better off using a UK pension still. It can achieve exactly what a QROPS can do, but at drastic less cost, and also keep your pension regulated in the UK. Whereas if you're moving it with a QROPS to other jurisdictions, the licensing and the regulation and the type of rules that they have to operate under is going to be a lot less than that of the UK. Here at Harrison Brook, we get this inquiry quite often, where people have moved their UK pensions into a QROPS and then they've subsequently either moved back to the UK, or they're overly concerned by the charges which are being levied on their QROPS, which might have been set up on a commission basis, so then they have additional costs of the QROPS trustee, the underlying bond structure, and also the funds might be more expensive than if they were using a UK solution. It is possible to transfer back your QROPS into a SIPP. We would typically have to use a QROPS trustee that also offers a SIPP structure. It might be the case that the QROPS trustee that you're already a member of also has a SIPP available within their portfolio of products, of which typically they will allow you to move internally for free. Certainly what we would do, we'd have to do an analysis of your current structure, what investment funds, do they have any exit penalties on them, and we can then suggest the best way to repatriate this back into a UK pension if you're intending to go back to the UK, or you're still living abroad but you're looking to reduce the costs but really have the same benefits of using a SIPP, realistically speaking. Income tax on QROPS varies depending on which QROPS jurisdiction you have used. Malta, for example, offers flexible access drawdown, the same as if you're in the UK and in a UK pension. How it is taxed is you would be in theory taxed in Malta because you would have transferred into a Maltese scheme. As long as Malta has a dual tax saving agreement with the country that you are resident in at the time of entering drawdown, such as France, where we are based ourselves, it would be paid out gross of Maltese taxation. You would then just have to disclose any income on your local tax return in the country that you physically live in. I'm talking to you here now towards the end of January, so Brexit has already occurred. You've probably seen in the news a lot of information about agreements with fisheries and general trade, but financial services is one that still a lot of unknowns still remain. Currently speaking, you can still transfer onto a QROPS. Anyone can if they're a resident in Gibraltar or a resident in the EU without incurring what's called the overseas transfer charge. There has been discussions that come March, when the budget is announced in the UK, that this may change. This is still an unknown. No one knows for sure, but it might be the case that because the UK has left the European Union from March or around March time, that they may apply the overseas transfer charge if you choose to transfer into another QROPS in countries such as Malta or Gibraltar and so on. Obviously, we'll have to wait and see what happens with that. Again, you need to assess the reasons why you're looking to use a QROPS in the first place. Just because there potentially is a time limitation on that does not mean that you should rush or be encouraged to transfer into a QROPS. Again, I would still assess your options in terms of looking at an international SIPP. If you watch my video on the international SIPP, I answer some of the key questions on a SIPP there as well. You'll find most advisors do recommend using a QROPS, and that really is because there's a good story behind it, because you have moved abroad and it would make logical sense to move your pension with you where you are resident. But realistically speaking, often you can't transfer it to the country that you directly live in. Usually it will be still via a third country, which you will have usually a dual tax haven agreement with the country that you're resident in. The reason why they're recommending them, it can be for numerous reasons. If they're commission-based advisors, it might be the fact that they've got more flexibility to be able to use commission structures within inside your pension. That could include in using an investment structure which pays them commission. It may be when they can use funds which also pay them commission. Often, as we touched on in a previous video, the benefits of using a QROPS typically don't outweigh that of using a UK pension. So you've got to ask the question why they are recommending that to you and why they may not have looked at using a SIPP. So make sure that your advisor has not just recommended using a QROPS, make sure they have discounted using other pensions and other solutions and why they didn't select those before you decide to go ahead with a QROPS. You may already be in a Guernsey QROPS, and Guernsey was one of the regions which was very popular when QROPS first came around to be a place to transfer your pension because it did offer you additional benefits. But Guernsey is also a jurisdiction now that doesn't offer flexible access drawdown that you would benefit from with inside a QROPS, say in Malta as an example, or inside a UK pension such as a SIPP. And we are finding here at Harrison Brook that some of the older trustees are blocking transfers of people looking to transfer out of an old Guernsey QROPS back into a UK SIPP. And the reason why this is largely these providers have a closed book of business. They aren't getting any new clients, so they are trying to limit clients leaving the schemes that they're already in. Now this can mean that your charges are already high. They may try and charge you exit fees. They may try and put barriers up from moving it into a new SIPP provider. We've got a lot of experience with this. We deal with a lot of inquiries where we're trying to lower costs of people's existing QROPS. I'd suggest speaking to one of our advisors. Certainly they can explain if it's going to be feasible or not, but sadly a lot of them are blocking it purely because they don't want to lose your business. Thanks for listening to my video today on QROPS. I'm going to be doing more videos on varying different topics and some of the key questions we get asked here at Harrison Brook. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel or follow our blogs, and we'll keep you updated with all the questions we're getting asked by other expats and foreign nationals living abroad.